So hello YouTube, this is Slovenian Sonic AGD, and today we're gonna be talking about the safety of open cockpit race cars. So that means GP2, GP3, Formula 1, IndyCars, Le Mans prototypes, and whatever you guys can and anything else that you can think of. So in the background you're gonna be seeing some R Factor 2 gameplay, the DW12 IndyCar around the Indianapolis Grand Prix track. The layout is the one that was used for the Formula 1 race. And I do apologize for some of the bad driving, but yeah, I'm not really the best at sim racers at the moment. But eager to get better, so we'll see next time I upload some sim racing gameplay. So, as some of you may know, during this Sunday's IndyCar Pocono Grand Prix, driver Justin Wilson got hit in the head by debris that was caused by a different crash that happened a few moments before. The thing hit him in the head, and sadly those injuries that he got from that crash meant that he died later. Yeah, but it's kind of tough to discuss. Yeah, just rest in peace, Justin. You will be missed. Yeah, so that was really the main idea that gave me the idea for the video. Are open cockpits still safe enough? The answer is mostly yes, because in basically all other instances except something flying off and hitting the driver straight in the helmet, open cockpit cars are still very safe. Mostly, yeah, but they're very safe. No, because we've had many horrible crashes in IndyCar and Formula 1, GP2, GP3, and everybody escaped those crashes basically unscathed. Except they were just a bit shaken, and yeah. But sorry, I'm gonna be a bit like this because it's a difficult topic to discuss. But yeah, the only problem is that the driver's head is exposed. So in these circumstances that something flies off and hits the driver's head, then the driver is in serious trouble. As we saw with Massa in recent years, when a little spring hit him in the head at enormous speed, and the man was really lucky to survive the crash, and yet he made a perfect recovery, so he got really lucky with that. But sadly we also had some unlucky people who got head trauma because the cockpit was exposed, as Justin Wilson in the meantime. But would have closed cockpits helped against those crashes? Yes, they would have. No, it wouldn't have hit the driver's head. It would have probably hit the closed cockpit, the windscreen, and then it would have probably shattered the windscreen, which would have meant that the race would have been over for the drivers. But they would have still be here. Well, Massa would have survived, but Massa wouldn't have had that injury, and he would have just continued to race on, and that season still get good results, because yeah. And Justin would have still been here with us. But there's also the other side. Would it have helped against some other crashes where head trauma was got? Like, for example, Bianchi's crash last October in Suzuka, when he hit that tractor. Well, that's a different story. Probably wouldn't have helped one bit, because Bianchi's crash was really tough. If you really need to look at how scary that crash was, just go on YouTube and type Juice Bianchi crash. The video is on there, I believe. And so yeah, if you really want to be scared a bit, do it. Well, that wouldn't have probably helped because it tore the because in the Yankees crash, the robe, the top air intake above the driver's head got completely destroyed. That really was a horrible crash. And there was also a different crash while in IndyCar back in 2011, the previous last fatality in IndyCar, when Dan Weldon flew off into the barriers and got head trauma that caused him to die. Then probably it would have helped. Yeah, that might have helped because probably then the helmet wouldn't have smashed against the safety railing. But that's a bit different. Yeah, but so we arrived at the conclusion that it would be safer in these events. But what are the downsides of the cars being closed cockpit now? Well, would have been if the cars would be closed cockpit. I'm sorry, yeah, it's tough and I'm not really, yeah. What would be the downsides? Well, the driver would have, it would be much tougher for him to escape from if let's say the car would have to break down and to go into the flames, and it would burst into flames. Now when the cockpits are open, well, the driver can simply jump out and that's it. But then he would have had to open the canopy or the windscreen or whatever it would have been called, and he would have had, and then still, which would have meant that precious seconds would have been lost, in which he could have escaped and survived. Really, it is a very tough question. It has positives and negatives, but I think that for now it's probably best to stay at the open cockpits, because closed cockpit would introduce so much more a different kind of danger, and if the cockpits got stuck, the driver would basically roast in there in the event of a fire. What I really think that would be the best thing to help the drivers from not getting hit in the head with flying debris like Justin did would be, well, that's because why did it really happen like that? Because it's IndyCar and it races on ovals. Well, hold on, I'm not an oval hater, just let me explain. Well, on a regular racetrack, let's say Formula 1 races, that's most racetracks, the debris even if a driver crashes, the debris has a chance of going in a different direction than it is on the racetrack in most cases. The Barrichello incident is different. It was a mechanical failure. But nevertheless, if the driver crashes, in most cases the debris goes flying off, and it normally goes flying off somewhere else than the racetrack. So that means that it goes off. Monaco, for example, is a different case, but it's still the debris. Yeah, it's a bit different, but still, that's the only one. The only one of the track that's really dangerous, and Singapore, and yeah. So, and in IndyCar, basically, if a car crashes into the wall, the debris has nowhere to go but back onto the track and the racing line. And in the car there's even that catch fencing that makes the spectators be safe, but it means that the debris gets thrown back at the drivers, which is, yeah, so you see why I say it's also Noble's fault. Yeah. The debris gets hit back at the drivers, and the drivers have nowhere to go, basically. As for normal racetracks, if a car crashes, it normally goes off track, and it leaves, even though it leaves debris on the track, it's normally not in the air. So what's the perfect solution to combat drivers getting hit in the head? Well, there isn't one. Maybe if there was some kind of, I don't know. Well, the only thing that drivers could be really done to save them is to put canopies, but that to put them inside something, but that would just introduce a new risk. Well, the best solution that I probably can think of is if it was basically a canopy, it went above the driver's head, but it would be basically like a windscreen that would end at the start of the driver's helmet. So that means that the driver could still escape the car easily, and if something, for example, flew at the driver, it would hit the windscreen. It would probably cause no damage to the head. So yeah. Well, I hope you enjoyed me rambling on about safety in open and closed cockpit cars. And it was not really the smoothest video that I ever made. I'm sorry, but I'm just not really up to the task, I guess, today. And because it's amazing just me talking without any background. Well, background, I mean, yeah. Well, I'd like to thank you guys for watching. I'm gonna probably see you all in the next video. Please remember to like this video, comment your thoughts below, and of course subscribe if you haven't already. And see you all in the next one. Bye.